The world watched as Kathmandu's streets erupted, not with the usual political posturing, but with a tidal wave of Gen Z defiance. This was a generation dismissed as apathetic, now leading a movement that shook Nepal's foundations. Years of corruption, nepotism, and broken promises under Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli had left the public simmering. The youth saw their futures slipping away, stifled by a system rigged against them. The government's response to criticism was dismissive, fueling even more resentment. Every new scandal, every arrogant remark was another spark. Then came the government's fatal mistake, an attempt to silence dissent by shutting down social media. For Gen Z, social media was more than entertainment. It was their voice, their organizing tool, their identity. By trying to take that away, the government didn't just poke the bear, they tried to steal its roar. The match was struck. Nepal's youth were ready to ignite. The government abruptly banned Facebook, X, WhatsApp, and Instagram, claiming to fight misinformation. But everyone saw through the excuse. It was a desperate move to muzzle dissent. Social media had become the great equalizer, exposing corruption and organizing resistance. The ban was a direct assault on the youth's power and a clear message: your voices do not matter. The hypocrisy was glaring. The government spun tales of progress while silencing critics. Instead of quelling unrest, the blackout unified a generation. The anger crystallized into a single cause: the right to speak freely and hold leaders accountable. The government thought silence would bring order. Instead, it sparked a deafening roar. The fight was no longer just about corruption. It was about the soul of Nepal's democracy. The youth had found their rallying cry. The movement was unstoppable. The platforms were gone, but the network was alive. Gen Z mobilized through VPNs, encrypted apps, and word of mouth. They took our voice online, so we'll make them hear us on the streets. Protests erupted in Kathmandu and quickly spread nationwide. This was a leaderless, decentralized uprising. Students, artists, young professionals united by anger and hope. Organizers used encrypted channels to coordinate, share safety tips, and outmaneuver police. Digital activists bypassed the blackout, making #Nepal uprising trend globally. The government was blindsided. They had tried to suppress dissent, but instead unleashed a force they couldn't control. The digital natives had logged off and marched on the citadels of power. Nepal's youth were done waiting for change. The peaceful protests turned violent as the government responded with force. Tear gas, batons, and water cannons met unarmed students. The crackdown only enraged the crowds. The violence escalated. Rubber bullets gave way to live ammunition. 19 young lives were lost, each becoming a martyr's story. The movement, now sealed in blood, targeted symbols of corruption: government buildings, party headquarters, even the parliament. The army was deployed, curfews declared, but the protesters pressed on. In a stunning act, Rabbi Lamichane was freed from prison. The country teetered on the edge of collapse, a state of anarchy born from the government's own arrogance. The old order was burning. Nepal was at a breaking point. The pressure was overwhelming. Nepal was burning, the economy paralyzed, and the army's loyalty uncertain. Cornered, Prime Minister Oli resigned. His fall sent waves of jubilation through protest sites. Ministers scrambled to distance themselves, resigning in quick succession. Even Kathmandu's mayor pleaded for calm, fearing deeper chaos. The old guard was gone, but the path forward was uncertain. The army's presence on the streets was a sobering reminder of the fragility of victory. Borders were sealed, flights cancelled, and a power vacuum loomed. The youth had won the battle, but the war for Nepal's future had just begun. What comes next? As the smoke clears, a fragile calm settles over Kathmandu. Memorials appear for the 19 lost, and the youth gather, exhausted but resolute. They toppled a government, but the real challenge lies ahead. The uprising shattered the old political monopoly. The youth are now a force no leader can ignore, but history warns revolutions can be hijacked or fade. Nepal needs more than a new prime minister. It needs deep reform, real accountability, and a new political culture. The youth have opened a window for change. The world is watching, hoping this is Nepal's new dawn, not just another false horizon. The future is unwritten, but the spirit of Gen Z has proven it can move mountains.